in our directory. So without further ado, I'm going to start with our presentation. So I'm going to bring up the presentation for every. And if you are logged in, we hope that you are. I'm just going to make this full screen right quick. So please let me know if you can see the screen. Whoops, don't know what happened there. If you could raise your hand if you see the screen, my speakers. Okay, great. I see one. Okay. So today is all about creating a vision plan, mind, body, and soul. We have a lot of women that we come in contact with, and I'm sure you on your personal journeys to health and wellness, you are also trying to plan. This event is Boss Encounters, Building of Successful Strategies. So the material you hear today is informational only, and we are not liable for any results, but we hope that you're touched. And if you choose, you can follow the tips that you're given today, and we hope that it helps you to better your life. Okay, so I'm going to as we come today. We thank you for this time that we're able to meet with each other and get to know each other a little. We ask that people are in and that they are given a sense of understanding of what their vision and their life should be. God, we ask that everyone is sharpening the way that they think, the way that they things. Name we pray. Amen. You know that everyone does not believe the way I believe. So if you don't, that's okay. The prayer life. Scripture for today, because we love scriptures, is Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain. This picture was taken from loveemily.co.uk. So we like to give credit for where credit is due. So we always like to start with the icebreaker. So we're going to start with the icebreaker online. So if you are on our live feed, if you could type in the comments where you are from and a link to your business or personal profile or your Facebook, your Instagram, or your website. And that's for the women that are also in this group too. If you are able to go over to the live so that I can make sure that the comments are actually working. I believe the comments are working, but I won't know. Oh, I see Michelle Cullum is online. We have Miss Nisi, Debbie Daniels. Those are the three people I see so far. I'm sure that that's going to be even more in just a few. We have 13 views. We need more than 100 so that I can open up more features within the WOW. So I need to get to 100 people as soon as possible. But hey, Jaleese, if you can subscribe to our channel, and it's as simple as just hitting the like button. And you can subscribe. I don't know how to subscribe. If someone knows how to subscribe, please put it in the comments. This is brand new for all of us. And I will give that about another 5 minutes before we move on. Of course, we had door prizes, which my lovely Miss Jaleese is going to bring one of those door prizes to me in just a moment. For the women that are online today, We will randomly pick those door prizes based upon the chats. So the first person that will get a door prize for today is going to be Miss Niecy Graham, because she is the first comment that we got today. Yay, Niecy. Okay. Okay, I was just told by Miss Debbie Daniels that the subscribe button, there's a little red button below the video that says subscribe. So if you see that button, please subscribe. And I think because it's my channel, I can't see it. But I promise you guys, this is going to get better in the future. Yay. If you are on the chat, make sure you put your name, and also put a link to how people can get in touch with you, because that's going to be helpful. And I'll tell you a little about my day. I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, ready to just, get the food together and make sure that WOW was going to run successfully. And so the new places are closed today. You might want to check or call or see what you want to do, because there's ice on the roads and more snow is coming. So for the first time in WOW history, we had to make a decision that we were not going to be able to go to a physical building. Right now we have about 16 people watching online. I know that's going to grow as people know that the link is out there and the link actually works. So also, if for me, went live fully, I didn't know how I was going to get everybody on the call to be able to go live and be able to broadcast it. But my God is good.
Amen.
So immediately he started to give me downloads of, you could go on Zoom. And I was like, but how am I going to fit all those people on Zoom? And that's that today. And it was at that moment that I was like, okay, start Googling. We're going to figure this out. So I tried Google Hangouts. That didn't work because YouTube has turned off Google Hangouts for live. So then I went to Skype, but Skype didn't have the capabilities that I need to be able to do what I wanted to do today. And so then I was like, I looked at $40. So anyone that is looking to grow their business, you have investing your monthly account, and it's $59 a month. So if we have a sponsor that's willing to pay that $50, next year sponsor, you would also be able to have access to our newsletter. You can post in our newsletter. You would have access to be able to have a website, so it'll show your logo and a link to your business. And you would also have access to a booth when we do have our live meetings, because we will still have our live meetings. Some more interesting things, we have some more ladies that are we have a Florida branch that is about to open for WOW. This literally just happened this morning.
Yay.
And we also have Maryland that is about to open for WOW. So we have some fun, exciting things. WOW is branching, and it just happened overnight. So I think we're going to move forward, because I'm ready to move forward so that we can get to watching online. And Miss Niecy, Miss Michelle Cullum, who has been with us since the beginning. Miss Michelle Cullum used to come to our WOW events and grace us with her voice. She is a wonderful performer and she does plays. You have to get to know her. She is simply amazing. And she's always having events going on or a part of different productions in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. I'm sure that's going to be more in the future, but that's something to look forward to. So on to our next matter of business, if I can find it. Okay, it doesn't want to come up. Okay. So our sponsor for today is Allstate. She actually went to the library location. So later today in the broadcast, she will be brought on to the live to tell a little bit about Allstate when she's back at home. So that's something to come. I'm going to go right into what creating a life plan is all about. I'm not going to go over each section. I'll just tell you that when you are creating a life plan, it should include these 4 sections. You have your spirituality, your family, your health, and your success. A lot of people want to separate these things, but they really are a complete package in you being a whole person. It takes all 4 of these categories. And for me, when I think about that, I think about the spiritual part is you have to be rooted and grounded in something, whatever your spirituality is. I choose to believe in Jesus. So with that, my spirituality and knowing that God has control over everything in every area in my life, but there's a few things that I have control over, and that's my choice. So choosing my family, my health, and my success. Then you go over to social. A lot of people consider it social, but I say family because anyone that you have a relationship with via, if it's your children, if it's your parents, if it's your friends, your family. All of those are parts of what, and your family doesn't have to look like a mother, a child, a daughter, a father. It literally is the people that you interact with. Is your family at all. So finding out what your social relationships are with different people will help you to be more successful in your life. Now I have these kind of out of order. Big part is your health. I cannot tell you how important your health is to you. Me, as a middle-aged is successful in certain areas. So that's something that I'm working on even as we speak, because I realize that my health is my greatest asset. If I'm not able to work, how am I going to take care of my family? How am I going to be able to take care of my success, take care of me? How am I able to do anything? So ensure that your spirit together. Once you have the right connections and once your health is together, guess what automatically comes together? Your success. Your success can look like anything, but what do you want it to look like? I speak to so many women every single day, and this is me too, where we get into a mode of, I just need to take care of my basic needs. But what if that was no longer an issue? What if taking care of your basic needs was no longer an issue? What would that look like for you? What would you do if you no longer had to worry about what you did to make money and you could make $1 million a year doing what you enjoyed doing? What would that look like for you? What job would you have? What would success feel like? You working the best thing. For me, that would definitely be working with women and helping them to find their purpose. I know that that is my God-given talent. I am great at helping women to go to the next level, whether it's professional, whether that's in their health. And even though my health isn't together, I'm great at telling people held together in life, I know that there are things that I have to bring together to make sure that I have a successful 20. Being at the end of 2019, I created 4 vision boards. 4. And this was because of my lovely mentor, because yes, I have a mentor as well, Miss Jeanette North. She told me that she had a pretty pink vision board, and it was huge. She took 4 hot pink vision or poster boards, and she duct taped them together, and they are front and back, not just on one side, but front. And then she moves to the next level. I hope she isn't mad because I told that information, which I'm sure she's not, because she's an amazing lady. But I said, you know what? I'm always telling other people how to create a vision plan, and I show people how to create their own vision plan. But because I'm always helping other people to do theirs, I never took the time to truly make one that was just for me. Like, it wasn't about who was watching. I wasn't doing it so that people could see this is what a real vision board should look like. It really was my own vision board, and I created 4 of them. I may show you what they look like later in the day, but then again, it's my vision, not yours. So we'll get into that later. But one of my vision boards is literally my spiritual. My second vision board was my success. My third one was my family. And my last one was my health. That is the order that I did mine in. But you can do your vision boards in any order. You could do one small vision board, you could do a large vision board, but you have to see the vision. Write the vision and make it plain. It is. We have someone that is going to make it plain what it looks like in your life to be successful. I have very unbelievably talented. She does hair. She's a life coach. She is amazing. And she also is a relative of mine. So it's I if I push my limits. But without further ado, I'm going to bring her up, and she is going to talk to you for the next 15 minutes about what and being successful in your life. So just a second. Take the floor.
You cut out, so I don't know if it's my, is it a go?
Yes, a go.
You're good.
Okay, it's a go. So, okay, my name is Rosa Williams Rowland. Most people call me Peaches. My family, friends, everybody call me Peaches. So I am a transformational life coach, a mentor, and a consultant. I have tools and techniques from a variety of disciplines, and I'm double certified. I've been certified since 2010. I was certified as a licensed minister in 2005. And what I do is I help people achieve their dreams and their goals, and by changing their perception. And the name of my company is Keys to Eden. That's Keys with a Z to Eden, meaning that I help people get back to what their interpretation of Eden is. Eden means delight, or to go back to the beginning. And so that's what I help people do, and I love what I do. So at this point in the presentation, I would ask for audience participation, and I would ask a question. If I'd ask you to name the thing that you love the most, all the things that you love the most, what would you say? And if you guys want to participate and yell out, I'm gonna start the clock. Clock has started. Tell me what you love. Anybody?
I muted everybody. Now they can talk.
Okay, sorry.
So,
I love my family.
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 I love God.
God. Anybody else?
I love my business. I love being an entrepreneur.
Awesome. And so at the presentation, I would let this clock run until I got the answer I wanted. And the answer that I was looking for is I love myself. As women, we are taught to love everybody else. We put ourselves on the back burner. We don't take time to do self-care and self-love. And we're also taught from a very early age to love our neighbor. It says that in the Bible, to love your neighbor as you love yourself, not instead of yourself. And so if you don't love yourself, then pretty much whatever you're giving away to others, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your jobs, and everything that you love so much, then you're probably depleted and you're not getting your cup filled. And you cannot give from an empty vessel. So when you learn how to love yourself, when you learn how to take time for yourself and do what fills your cup up, then you have more to give to your neighbor. You have more to give to your family and your coworkers and your loved ones. And so in opening, I would say hostile people live in a hostile world, and loving people live in a loving and benevolent world, but it's the same world. So it's 2020. Happy New Year, everybody. Um, this year is all about vision. This is about how you see things, if you see things clearly, or if you're seeing things in a blur. And so this right here determines what your perception and what your perspectives are. So the worst thing in life is to have eyes and don't have any vision. And so you're going to see as we go along in 2020 that things are going to become more clear for you so that you can trailblaze to your desired outcome or your dreams or your goals. And so it's about focus and what you're paying for with your attention. And that which you concentrate on is what you're paying for. And so I want to talk briefly about that phrase, pay attention. Words are powerful. And so when you say I'm paying attention, you're actually paying for that thing that you're giving your attention to. So if you're giving your attention to the drama, your energy is going there. You're paying for that with your energy. You're paying for it. And so it's costing you something. So I want to make sure that we all have a clear vision for 2020, that we're reaching our goals and our dreams. And so does anybody in the group know what a RAS is? RAS? It's a reticular activating system. Anybody? A lot of people don't know what it is. Okay, so God created our bodies, and right back here in the brain stem, right at below the brain stem, before it connects to your spinal cord, it's this little mechanism that when you decide that, let's say you're going to get you want a new red sports car, and let's say it's a Ferrari. So you go to the dealership, you buy the Ferrari, and it's beautiful. As soon as you pull out and you get to the corner, you see a Ferrari on every corner. And so what happens is the reticular activating system start noticing everything that you focus on. You may not have ever seen a Ferrari just like yours ever in life, because as soon as you get one, it activates that system and you start seeing it everywhere you go. And so the subconscious mind is responsible for this. It looks for and it notices everything that is true for you. So it looks for things that you have imagined, like the pictures in your head. And the mind language is images, it's imagination. And so it's trying to match the vibration or the energy of the thing that you have focused on. It looks at it as this must be important to her or him because she keeps focusing on it. So it brings to you that thing. It always brings, it shows up in your life experience over and over and over because that is what your focus is on. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It doesn't judge what it is that you're focused on. It's just bringing you more of what it is that you're focused on. And so what is the imagination? Humans are the only species on the planet, as far as science knows, that has the gift of imagination, and we use it for evil instead of for good. And how do I mean? I mean by vain imaginations. We imagine the worst case scenario instead of imagining the desired outcome that we truly want. And so by doing this, we create the very thing that we don't want. And if you look at Job in the Bible, he sent up incense and prayers for his family every day. And what happened to him? The very thing that he didn't want came upon him because that's where his focus was. He was scared that his children weren't praying enough. He was scared that, he's going to lose his wife. He was scared that he was going to lose all his camel and sheep and horses. And sure enough, he did, because his focus was on the very thing that he did not want. So it's our mental attitude which makes the world what it is for us. Our thoughts make things beautiful, and our thoughts make things ugly. And if you could take the one thing away today from me, is thoughts are things. So as soon as you have a thought, you have an image in your mind, and that's going to cause the subconscious mind to bring those things to you. Okay, so there are some essential elements. I'm only going to name 3. This is what I do. So if you want to learn more about universal laws or spiritual laws, and what I mean by laws is, if you take, for instance, the law of gravity, it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. It doesn't matter if you have ever experienced it or not. If you get on top of the building and jump off, you're going to fall every single time. That's a law. There is nothing that's going to go against that law unless you have an apparatus on that would, like an airplane or something that will make you fly. But if you jump off the building, you're gonna fall. That's a law. And so one of the first ones is thoughts, particularly what you believe and what you're saying to yourself. Self-talk is so important, and it's important for your vision, especially for 2020, because your beliefs are a magnet that it creates your reality. And so whatever you believe, it doesn't matter if anybody else believes it or not. If you believe something, you can pull that thing to you some way or somehow. And so every time you have a thought, your brain makes a chemical, and the chemicals create a feeling, and the feelings create an emotion. The thing about the mind is whatever you're thinking feels as real to it than is as if it's happening right then. It cannot distinguish between if you are doing the thing or if you're just thinking about doing the thing. So you can think of something that happened to you 20 years ago and be mad in this moment and still feel the same emotions that you felt 20 years ago when it happened. We all do that, I should have, when she said this, I should have said that, or I could have did this, or I would have done that. But what you're doing is you're bringing that circumstance right back into your now. And so you want to let those things go and look forward to what your vision is, and look forward to what your desired outcome is. And so number 2 is words. Words are creation. Otherwise, God would not have said, let there be. The words is what causes creation. So, and if I give you a little tip, this is for free. Can anybody tell me the root word of spelling? Like when you're in elementary school and you have spelling tests, you're spelling words. What's the root word? Spell. Absolutely. So when you're using words, you are casting a spell. It has nothing to do with being a witch or sorcerer or outside of God's plan for your life. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's just words are powerful, and their power when you speak them. And so when you say, I am stupid, I am fat, I am dumb, you are bringing those very things that you don't want for yourself into your life, because I am is a God word. And that word is a creation word. So whatever you put behind I am, you're creating for yourself. It doesn't even matter if you believe it or not. When you use I am, you're pulling it towards you, and it's coming fast. And so number 3 is your deeds, the actions that you take. When you feel an inspired action, inspired to take an action, you will see doors opening that will lead you directly to the directions of your dreams. And your actions demonstrate your faith. And there was a woman in the Bible that had an issue of blood. We all know the story. And she said to herself, her self-talk was, I know the Messiah is coming through my town, and no doctors have helped me. I've depleted my resources. And if I can only touch the hem of his garment, I know that I will be healed. I will be made whole. And so she pressed her way through when the Messiah came through, and she got to touch his garment, and immediately her flow of blood stopped. And he knew, because he felt virtue leave his body. And he said, woman, it was by your faith that you have made whole. He did not heal her. And so that's what we do. We give our power to other people, thinking that they can do for us what we're supposed to do for ourselves. Our faith is the demonstration of our action. Our action is the demonstration of our faith. So we can heal ourselves, we can heal others, we can achieve any goal that we can conceive in our mind if we believe it and we take an action in faith towards that thing that we're trying to our desire. And so these three things cause manifestation. It works the same way for everybody and at all times. Whether you know it or not, it doesn't matter. So I want to encourage you to be mindful of what you're paying attention to, what you're paying for with your attention, your energy. I want you to be mindful of your thoughts and what you allow in your mind. The Bible says to cast away things that you don't want or things that worry you. And it also says you can take a thought captive. So if you have a thought and it makes you feel good, then you should go with that thought. If you have a thought and it makes you feel negative, then that's something that you should let go and look forward to, or change the thoughts that you have so that you have access to higher desires from God. And so you want to be mindful of your thoughts, your self-talk. You want to choose the words that you use. We speak things into existence. We call those things that be not as though they were. And you also want to make sure you pay attention to your deeds and your actions. Are your actions leading you towards the direction of your dreams, or are they taking you away from your dreams? So I don't know how much time I have left, probably just a few minutes. But I just want to make a quick offer for anybody that's interested. I'm sorry, you're muted. I see your lips moving. Oh, I got about 7 minutes. Well, I probably won't take all 7 minutes, but.
Okay, now I found it. OMG.
Okay, gotcha. So the offer I'm making is I'm having a workshop in April, maybe the end of April, 1st of May. And I haven't even put it out there for my audience yet. I just kind of narrowed down the date in the venue. And so I will offer this audience 50% off. It's a $50 workshop. It's for 4 hours, and you can get in between now and March 1st for $25, but you have to use a code word WOW, WHOW. That way I'll know this group, that you are on this live call and that you got that coupon code from here. And so you can reach me at rosa.rowland, rosa.rowland, ROWLAND at yahoo.com. And I will return all your emails. You can let me know if you have any questions, or you can put them in the live chat and I'll see it after this live. And I will make sure and get in there and answer any questions that I can. And I just want to say I appreciate my cousin Crystal for allowing me the space and holding space for me to do what I love. So thank you, Crystal, and thank you, ladies, for participating in such a wonderful, wonderful event. And I just looked out the window. It is snowing. So, we still gonna get it done. It is snowing in Broken Arrow. So, but we still getting it done. So I'm grateful.
I guess that's what matters. So we're going to open it up for questions. So ladies, if you can unmute yourself so that we can ask Miss Rosa some questions, and anyone that is on the live, if you have any questions, if you'll put it in the chat for the next 5 minutes, we're going to entertain all of the questions. So I have Miss Michelle Cullum said, thank you, Rosa. Are you muted? No? Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So I'm waiting to see what the leads say about the questions that people may have. Okay, now the workshop, you said the workshop is when?
The workshop is the end of April, first part of May, the last few days of April. And I haven't got a time yet. Probably it'll be starting around 12-ish and go to about 4 in the afternoon. Is 1 day. And unless I get a lot of response, because I have a pretty big tribe, and sometimes I have to split them up into 2 days so that, because I like to do a lot of hands-on and one-on-ones right there in front of everybody, so to help give them tools to move through whatever's blocking them or stopping them from living their best life. I actually hate that
Awesome.
phrase, living my best life. Everybody use that phrase, but I actually do help people live their best life.
Yes, you literally help them. So when I think of what you do, what is, like, I know some people automatically assume that they don't need a coach, like their pastor's their coach or their best friend or different things like that. So when you think of people needing a coach, someone to help them live their best life, what is a groundwork that a coach or something that you could say that they should start with? If they had nowhere to start and they're trying to completely turn around their life, what should they start with?
um, Asking themselves what they want. Because 90% of the clients that come to me, that's the first thing I'm gonna ask you. What is it that you want your life to look like? What would be your designer life? We wear designer shoes, we wear designer purses, we wear designer hair, but nobody knows what they want their life to look like. And God gave us free will, so we can choose to design our life the way we want it to look. And so that would be my first question. What is it that you want? And so most people can't tell me what they want, but they can tell me what they don't want. And so what I do is I have them list out what it is you don't want, make your list out, and then let's flip it and reverse it. What would it look like if you didn't have these things and you did have the things you want? And so right there, it starts giving people ideas and inspiring them to think outside of their box so that they can open up their mind to think thoughts that they never thought before. Most people have 60,000 thoughts in one day, and it's the same thoughts that they had yesterday. Nobody's thinking an
Wow,
original thought anymore,
you're
something
right.
new. So that's what I help you do. I help you think original thoughts that you've never thought before. And what it does is it opens your mind to release you from the prison of being in a box. You can create your
Oh
life
my
any way you
gosh.
want it to look. And you don't have to have anybody's permission to live your life the way you want it to be. You don't owe anybody any explanations or apologies. You live your life to make you happy and to represent the God that you serve, period, point blank.
I think that right there was an aha moment, I think, for some women within WOW. A lot of times we put ourselves in these little boxes, like, what will they think? What will people say? What will happen if I change my life around or if I go a different direction? And I say that because it was about a month and a half ago, and I was sitting in this meeting, and it's so crazy. I can almost cry now just thinking about it. But I'm sitting in this room and I'm like, I don't like the direction my life is going. I do not feel satisfaction in what I'm doing 9 to 5. And I said, I just want to do WOW 100% of the time. I really want to do that. And it was something that clicked in my brain. And I was on my way to a meeting with my mentor, and I had Miss Darrell, who is also on this call. I was on my way to a meeting with both of these ladies, and immediately, well, I actually was supposed to meet somewhere else, but when that triggered in my brain, I got a text message from my mentor, and she said, we need to meet. And I said, okay. Well, I knew I already had another meeting set up, but we were supposed to meet somewhere totally different. So I literally at that moment contacted her and I told her, hey, we need to change where we're meeting at. We need to meet here. So when I told her that, she immediately, the other lady was like, okay, we can meet there. So when we met at the other location, I got there and she was like, you're doing this all wrong. You're doing this completely wrong. You're going to have to change the way you think. You have to create the vision that you want it to be. And I said, well, how in the heck am I supposed to do that? Like, seriously. And she was like, you have to think about it. You have to think about it every single moment. And while I was there, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm trying to get my life together. And it just clicked at me. This is happening. I'm changing the course. I've got to put my foot down. I've got to say, this is not what I want to do. I've got to say, I'm going in the direction that is going to bring me the most satisfaction. And immediately things started to change. I got 4 phone calls. 4 people joined WOW that same moment. Within 30 minutes, they changed. I mean, my mind frame changed. Therefore, WOW started to think differently. I got a sponsor that same day. And literally, she's the Allstate sponsor that's on today. So it's all about what's in your mind frame and how you want it to change, and not worrying about what people think, not worrying about, God, how are you going to pay my bills? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And truly step into what God has for you and step into what your God-given purpose is. Because when you make that decision, things start to open up. And I was like, well, God, I still need training. I still need this. I don't even know how I'm gonna do it. So guess what God made me? He made me the office manager for a technology company that is starting a nonprofit. So I get to walk them through the steps of starting the nonprofit, but I'm also able to train myself in the proper way to make sure that WOW runs the way that it's supposed to. I'm talking about night and day. You have to make those decisions.
That's how it works. And that's the hard part. People don't like to make the decision. They have to choose. And the choices, that's your power. That's your power. And so when you make the choice, the universe, God created this beautiful universe, and it conspires. It does everything. It moves things around on your behalf to help you make your dreams come true. But it starts with a choice. If you don't like the way your life is looking, you prefer something different. It's not a bad thing to choose something different. Just prefer something different and start taking measures in that direction. And so you did that. Goodness. You opened your mind, blew it at the box.
Oh my goodness. And to make it even more, Daryl, you were there. So can you tell people what that was really like, that moment, like what you saw go forward?
It was a beautiful moment. We had a meeting right after you met with your mentor, and I sat down, and like you said, your phone started ringing. The sponsor came through, 3 emails came through, and it just opened. And I remember the next day I wrote you to just thank you for meeting with me, and said, I will always be able to say I was there when all of your roads opened and everything just cleared for you to kind of walk in your purpose. And it was pretty incredible to witness.
Thank you for sharing with us. Okay, so thank you, Rosa, for coming today and being a part of what we have going on. Hold on, I'm trying to get it back over to me. So we appreciate you coming today. And are there any last words that you would like to give to our following for WOW?
I would say that first of all, we're women. So that means we're resourceful and we're powerful. And if we can learn to wield our power on the behalf of the things and the people that we love, and if we can find a place of safety and happiness, and if we can get our lives in alignment with what it is that we're thinking that we want, then there is nothing that can stop you. And so my only pleasure in life when it comes to business is to empower other women. And my life is beautiful, and I'm grateful for it. And so my mission is to teach as many women as I possibly can to be as happy, as joyful, as blessed, as prosperous and abundant as I have been. And so, and I don't say that like in a boastful way, because my journey was long and it was hard, but I have some shortcuts and I can help you get to where you want to go real quickly. And also, I'm gonna have to jump off after my feed because I got to go to work. But I want to make sure and watch everybody later. And if it's okay, if I have questions for the other ladies, I can just type them in the chat later, right?
Yes, that is correct. Thank you, Miss Rosa, for coming and gracing the place today. I am gonna jump over to our comments now and just read a couple of them. It says, I feel you, Crystal. I'm in the same place. We're ready to move to the next level. Dee said, absolutely. Miss Nisi said, I know these things. It's just hard for me to stay focused on the good things I want in my life when my children's lives intermingle with mine and change it. Dare to share mindset shifts are mandatory for progress. Of course, Miss Michelle said again, glory, hallelujah. Yes. And Miss Darrell said it was a beautiful moment to witness. So I am so like happy right now that people are already being transformed. You don't even know what's happening in this very moment. We are changing people's lives. And when you think of sharpening vision, I'm gonna jump back over to our main screen, if I can get it to come up. When you think of sharpening your vision, a lot of people will immediately assume that with, oh, she means just, hold on, why is it not? There it is. Okay, so a lot of people think when you think of sharpening your vision, how many of you have ever wore glasses, have actually worn glasses? If you've actually worn glasses, you will know that when you go to the doctor's office, one of the first things that they do is they test your vision. If your vision is not clear, you will know immediately because they put these, you get this thing and you put your eyes up against it. And what they do is they give you different frames and they'll say, how does this look? Or they'll say, raise your left hand if this looks clear, or raise your right hand if this looks blurry. Or they'll say, does this look, what looks clearer, number one or number two? So when you are sharpening your vision, a lot of people think you can write a plan or you can do a vision board and it's done right then. And that's not how it works. When you think of sharpening your vision, it is not something that just happens right there at that moment. It is something that's living and breathing and moving. It doesn't stay the same. So you may have a vision today, going to start a business. And that vision, you know what? I spoke to a lot of people, and right now, the best business for me to start is a hair business. So I'm going to start selling hair online, whatever that may be. I'm going to start a health coach business. I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to start this vision. But a lot of people go with that vision and they don't see how it can be sharpened. And sharpening your vision is not just about, okay, this works best, or I'm going to try this method today. It is also about going and reviewing what you've done in that vision. So for instance, with WOW started in 2008. We started as an online email group and we emailed each other all day at work. And I'm talking about this email chain went on for days. And every day we would start a new email chain and we kept adding and adding until we were up to over 50 people. We shut down a couple of people's servers. Some people couldn't even get it anymore because there was so many email chats and the email had gotten so long. So we transferred over to Facebook. And that was about 2008, 2009 that we actually went over to Facebook. And what I can tell you is that at that point, we didn't have a clear vision on what that looked like because before it was just emails back and forth. Well, now we would post stuff and people wouldn't respond for days. So it wasn't the same response as it was before. So we had to sharpen the vision a little bit. So we went from email and we added Facebook, and then we added a newsletter. And before you know it, it's like, you know what? We need to reach people on a whole nother level. We need to have a course. So sharpening your vision doesn't mean you just say, this is what I'm gonna do and I'm not gonna do anything to improve it. I'm not gonna do anything to make it better. It means to actually do something that helps you to go to the next level. It means that you will not just stay in one place, that you continue to sharpen that vision. You'll continue to do things to make your vision better. So when you think of going into the doctor's office and they say, is number 1 or number 2 clear? You get the choice to say number 1 or number 2. So let's say you chose number 2, but then he changes the frame and he's like, okay, now which is clearer, number 1 or number 2? And then he'll put that into your spec. And then he'll ask another question, which one looks clear, number 1 or number 2? Well, what you don't realize is that he's checking different parts of your eye to see what part is sharper, literally, and which eye you work more, you function better in. Because guess what? You may see better out of one eye, but the other eye you may not see as clear in. So both eyes have to be sharpened and have to be focused. So when I think of that, I always think of tunnel vision. When you are going towards your goal, you need to have tunnel vision. You need to be focused on that goal. You cannot move on to a million different things, and I've done it. And I was just telling someone this the other day, and I didn't understand it a long time ago when they said, you have yourself stretched so thin. How are you doing all this? I'm like, I can do it, until the moment that I couldn't. Until the moment when it was like, I got too much on my plate. Until that moment when my children started to have lives that I had to account for. And I'm out of school, so I'm not studying as much, but I still have all these bills that I have to make sure that gets taken care of. So being able to fluctuate and make sure that you're sharpening your vision, that you sharpen the way that you're going, that your tunnel vision is on where you should be going, on the direction. Because guess what? If you have 5 different visions, you have to have tunnel vision for each one of those. And you have to be able to turn each one of those off at any given moment. For instance, I'm a mother. I'm also a part of my church, Transformation Church. Yes, shameful plug. Everybody can do the same thing. It's nothing. But I also am a part of SCORE, which is a mentorship. I also work. I also have other duties. I'm a part of boards. I have WOW. I am working on my health. All of those are different visions. They're all different visions. So you have to be able to figure out which vision at what time you're going to focus on, and knowing what all is on your plate. I have another mentor. Trust me, I have plenty mentors, because guess what? You always want to do a self-check on which direction you're going. And people are good at one thing, telling you what you should be doing. And so if you listen to them, you could find out some things that will help you to go to the next level. So I have another mentor by the name of Roland, and we meet like once a month. And this conversation, he told me, he was like, what are you committed to? And I said, what I'm committed to? He was like, well, what if those commitments all line up on the same day and you had an event that had to happen all day and all 5 of them were on the same day? Which one are you going to commit to then? And I was like, what do you mean? I would figure out how to work them all. He was like, okay, so let's say your children need you and one of them is in the hospital. And then you also have your job and they have a deadline that you have to commit to. And then you have WOW and you have a speaking engagement. How are you going to execute all 3 of those? And if you don't, which one are you definitely going to do if nothing else fails? I said, it'll be my children. It will definitely be my children. I am their backbone. I am the reason if I'm here, they're here because of me. So it's my job, I feel, to make sure that they have the tools that they need to be successful. And if they're sick, I need to be sick right with them, or I at least need to be there to make sure that they transition into health, good health again. So with that being said, I'm overcommitted, because guess what? If my children need me, if my business needs me, if WOW needs me, if SCORE needs me, if all these things need me at the same time, where is my attention going to go to? And which one are going to be forgiving? So whatever you're committing to, make sure it's a commitment that is forgiving. Make sure it's a commitment that if you did have to step away for a brief moment, say a sickness, an illness, or something like that, that it can sustain itself when you're away. Because if it can't, guess what happens? When you stop paying attention to it, guess what happens to the vision? The vision ceases. It doesn't go any further. So the more things that you commit yourself to, the more people that rely on you, you have to make sure that those commitments, you're able to satisfy them, or at least be able to do something else or have other people to be able to help you with that as well. So without further ado, we're going to jump over to how you can become, hold on, I'm getting over to it. Another great way for you to become a better person is to actually think about the things and meditate on those things that need to make you better in who you are, in your relationships, in your life. So being able to meditate on things and really get a clear understanding of what you need. Strongly believes on meditating. I don't know if you know this or not, but in the mornings when I wake up, a lot of you don't know, I take time to meditate. And that meditation may be 2 minutes, that meditation may be 5 minutes. Sometimes that meditation could be a whole hour. But it's me literally focusing in on what I want to happen that day. I usually start with telling God how grateful I am of him, how thankful I am of how he's given me life. And I'm thankful for the good and the bad that he's done. But there are a few other things after you've gotten out that gratitude that you should be meditating on. And we have a wonderful coach that is going to explain that. I'm going to bring up this screen shortly. Hold on. So I'm working this all out, you guys. We're going to get there. So our coach for the day is Ms. Daryl Mizrak, and she's a meditation and tapping expert coach. She is, I'm going to let her explain herself, who she is. So I wanted to bring that up on the screen before I give her the spotlight, and take it away.
Thank you, Crystal. Hi, everyone.
You're
So nice to
welcome.
be here. Thank you for being so flexible this morning with this crazy Oklahoma weather. And Crystal's
Yes.
done an amazing job of just getting us all online so quickly. So congratulations on getting that done. My name is Daryl Mizrak, and I am the founder of Getting Through the Yuck. We're an online resource for guided meditation and a community of support for people who are in the yuck. So after today's talk, I'm going to be able to walk away with 2 resources for support should you find yourself in that situation. So I had kind of intended on being in front of people and asking, you know, how many of you have ever been in the yuck before? Well, the yuck can be any time that you're going through a transition, and transitions can be both positive and negative, right? We've gotten great transitions, wonderful things happening in our lives, but transitions can also be really hard. Maybe losing a job, leaving a relationship, moving across the country. You know, sometimes these transitions can be stressful, they can be upsetting, they can cause anxiety, and they might be depression inducing. And so I wanted to, you know, kind of take a moment and try to, for myself personally, and kind of expand it out greater, to figure out a way of starting to get through the yuck. And so a little bit of background and on me and kind of my personal experience of being in the yuck. A few years ago, I transitioned out of a corporate job. I had kind of a big grandiose idea of leaving this high-powered corporate job that was kind of mentally degrading and stressful. And I thought that as soon as I left, I'd be scooped up by another company. I'd have my benefits, my big old salary, and, you know, kind of run into the pastures of my happiness. And all I can say is that this situation didn't necessarily come to fruition. And I found myself without a job and feeling really awful, feeling really in the yuck, as I say. And so I'd say that, this wasn't the first time that I'd experienced something like this. I kind of have a history of anxiety and depression that I deal with. When I was 11 years old, I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis, and when I was 15, fibromyalgia. And if you're not familiar with fibromyalgia, it's a bit of an umbrella word. And so under that umbrella is arthritis, some insomnia, a little bit of anxiety, and a little bit of depression, kind of all the good things in there. And so I was never really, in my teens and my 20s, necessarily a stranger to going through these situations. I knew what it looked like. I knew what it felt like. I knew kind of when I was going into one and kind of also coming out of one. And these transitions and these feelings can change over time, and they certainly have different weights and different varying impact. When I was 26, my mother passed away from ovarian cancer, and I certainly got in the yuck at that point. And luckily at that time, I had resources that I could seek therapy, I could seek medication, I could really, handle it in a proper and professional manner that I needed. But when I was in the yuck after leaving my job, and I didn't really still have the resources that I had had at other times in my life, I knew I had to figure out something to help me start to get through. And when a few weeks of kind of feeling in the yuck transformed into a few months, transformed into longer than that, and I found myself still in a ball on the couch, I knew I had to do something about it. And so I started listening to podcasts, right? I really wanted to just find other women who were going through what I was going through. I was looking to find voices that sounded like mine, stories that I could relate to, and start to understand, like, what are these women going through? How am I crazy? Am I alone? Am I the only person that this is happening to? And so I listened to podcast after podcast after podcast. And what I really found in these podcasts that I was listening to was a lot of stories of these women kind of taking their side hustle into their six figures, and their baby company being scooped up by a big company, and women on the rise. And, while I was so happy, obviously, for all these women really discovering their dreams and taking off in their success, it wasn't meeting me where I was at that moment. And at certain times, I almost felt like, God, I think this is making me feel worse. I think that listening to all of these stories about these projects taking off and people doing amazing, how am I ever going to get there? How I am not even off of the couch today. I don't know that this project, which by the way, I didn't even have planned at the time, was going to get picked up into six figures. And so I kind of steered myself away from listening to these podcasts and just kind of was really starting to get on the search for something to calm my mind down. Now, the way that I kind of describe how my mind works when I'm in the yuck is a flip book. So do you all remember when you were younger, you had those like little flip books, or they had little images on each one, and you flip them real quick and they created a story. Well, my brain works like that. Little insight into here. And my flip book, unfortunately, when I'm in the yuck, is stories of what I've done wrong, or what I wish I would have done different, or my perceived failures, or things that I wasn't happy about, and that flip through my brain all day long and kind of send me into anxiety attacks. And so, in effort to kind of just quiet the noise and maybe just take a break from my own self, I started listening to meditations. And so I went online, and I went on first to YouTube, a source for calm. But I figured, let me just try YouTube. And so I found one day, it was just a quick 5-minute one. And I put on a set of headphones, and I turned on a meditation for calmness. And all of a sudden it came on, and this ocean noise came on, and it just took over my whole body. And for the first time in what felt like months, I was able to just relax. I was able to stop listening to all the things that I was running through in my flip book. And I listened to this lovely voice of the beautiful woman, and she told me when to inhale and she told me when to exhale, and she told me that I was part of a bigger universe, and she told me that I wasn't alone and that I was an abundant human. And after the 5 minutes were up, I just felt in my body this sort of calmness, this kind of calmness that I just had not felt in months. And so over time, I started visiting more and more YouTube videos. And after spending time on those, I actually found a few different meditation apps. And I'd go on those. And if I had 5 minutes, I took 5 minutes. And if I could, work up to 10 or even 20, I would try that as well. And I started getting kind of creative with it. And so if I was feeling bad about myself or my body or whatever one day, I would find a meditation about affirmations. And I would let somebody tell me about all the ways that I was wonderful. And I would just be quiet and I would listen to just that for a few moments. And if I was feeling like I'm never going to get a job, all the jobs in the world are taken and there's no more left for me, I would find a meditation on abundance. And I would listen to how there's enough for everybody in this world. And I just started finding a lot of peace. Well, it turns out that there is science behind this meditation. It's not just me. I didn't discover this one magical thing. Turns out that meditation is scientifically proven to help with anxiety and depression. And according to the Harvard Medical Publishing, meditation actually trains your brain to achieve sustained focus, to help you return to that focus when negative emotions are starting to intrude. So we've got our big old brains here, and we've kind of got a couple parts in there, just two that I'm going to reference. And one is called your medial prefrontal cortex, right? So this is known as your me center. And this is where you process information about yourself. This is where worrying about the future, maybe ruminating on the past, kind of becomes hyperactive in depressed people. So you've got your me center, and then you also have what's called your amygdala. Now, the amygdala is the brain region that's associated with depression, and it's also often called the fear center. And it's called that because it's responsible for the fight or flight response that triggers the body to release cortisol when your stress hormone. So now you've got the me center and the fear center kind of working together, and the two regions are working off of one another. The me center is getting all worked up, reacting to your stress and anxiety. And then the fear center, its response is to kind of spike in cortisol because it's sensing these levels of danger that your me center just kind of made up. So it turns out that meditation actually breaks the relationship between these two centers. And when you meditate, you're better able to ignore the negative sensations of stress and anxiety, which kind of explains why your stress levels start to fall. Pretty cool, right? Just a little bit of breath, and it kind of changes the science of your brain. Now, I can't promise you that if you engage in meditation, that this is going to prevent you from losing your shit from time to time. This is still going to happen, as it does for all of us. But what I can tell you is that it's going to decrease the intensity of when it does. It's going to kind of help you remain a little bit calmer, kind of have a little bit more perspective than maybe you would have without practicing meditation. And so now I know that there's a lot of people who are probably saying meditation is way too woo-woo. I am not into that nonsense. I am not burning incense. I am not getting in my yoga pants, and I do not have 20 minutes a day. And I'm here to tell you, I don't have 20 minutes a day either, but you don't need 20 minutes a day. The really great thing about meditation is that you can practice for 5 minutes a day. You can practice for 3 minutes a day. You can even just practice on the 30-second break that you take to go to the bathroom. All you need to do is center with yourself, kind of get a little quiet, take a few deep breaths, and separate yourself from those thoughts that are coming in. And so if you're comfortable and you're in a nice place, you're home right now, I'm going to ask you just for a couple of minutes to just kind of straighten up through your spine, your feet nice on the ground. And if you'd like to, you can go ahead and close your eyes. And if not, feel free to keep them open as well, however you're most comfortable. And see if you can just start to tune into that sound of your breath. Not changing at all, but just kind of noticing where it's at right now. Seeing maybe that rise and that fall of your belly. Maybe bringing your attention to your jaw, releasing through there. Maybe taking the tongue off the roof of your mouth. Letting your shoulders relax a little. And if your mind starts to wander off or get distracted, it's totally fine. All of our minds do that from time to time. Just kind of bring it back to that breath. I'm going to invite you to say a mantra with me if you choose. So as you inhale, I am. And on your exhale, enough. I am enough. I am enough. Excellent. And when you're ready, just start to bring your attention back to the room and gently open your eyes. And we did it. We just meditated together. Excellent job. Thank you for joining me. So as you see, what meditation actually is, the goal isn't to push these emotions out. It's simply just experiencing them. It's observing them from a standpoint of curiosity, of acceptance, of compassion, and understanding that we don't have to act on them. We can observe them, slow them down, just kind of take a moment to make the right choices around these thoughts. Now, as I said, I understand that meditation is not from everyone, and that's completely okay. My intention of creating Getting Through the Yuck was simply to provide some resources for when you're really in it to maybe help you get out of it. And if you found support in that, goal achieved. Couldn't be happier. But if that's not for you and what you feel like you might need just when you're in one of these moments is just a little bit of support, well, this website is going to serve for that as well. And so what I've created via Getting Through the Yuck is an online blog where people can write their stories about what they've discovered when they've gone through the yuck. Now, not necessarily just the, I was in a bad place before I ran out of it. But tell us, what was your bad place? What did it look like? What were you doing? How did it feel? And what were some steps that you took to get out of it? And this will be a place where people can come and maybe find some support and find some commonality in reading other stories. Maybe you'll find a little bit of healing in just the writing of your own. We all know that just kind of getting it out on paper helps quite a bit as well. And just kind of opening up this conversation of what it feels like to be in this place. Because we are all human and we all go through these places. We all go through this time to time. And I'm here to tell you that being stressed or being anxious or being depressed is nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's a human experience. And I truly believe that the conversation needs to be explored more, needs to be shared more, and needs to be put out front and center so that we can deal with our emotions and get moving forward on our life's path and on our life's purpose. And so if you are at all interested in some guided meditations, maybe finding a few apps, maybe listening to my voice, the website will be a source for that, where I will list a variety of different apps that you can try out. I will offer some guided meditations or some appointments. And then you can also visit the blog. You can find some stories that maybe you see yourself in, can connect with a few different people who are going through some different things, and learn about what they're up to and what they're doing to kind of help themselves get through it. Our website will be up soon, but the email address right now is just gettingthroughtheyuck@gmail. Drop me an email. Let me know you'd like to be on the email serve. Let me know your story. Let me know if you'd like it posted and if you'd like to be helped and you'd like to share it. I would love to put it on there. And again, I just wanted to thank Crystal for opening this up for all of us. I think that this is such a magical place where women get together and really support all facets of our life, whether you are in the yuck or you are on your rise. So thank you so much for letting me share today, Crystal. I really appreciate it.
OMG, Miss Daryl, that was amazing. I felt like I really had that moment. I had that meditation moment, and your voice really brought what was needed to hear what that meditation was all about. So I hope I'm going to open it up online. And if we could get some feedback from the people that are watching on the YouTube and tell us what you think about what Miss Daryl said, or if you need any tips, or if you have any questions. We are watching the live chat as we speak. And Miss Daryl, I don't know if you have capabilities of going out there on the chat and dropping your information in the screen, but I think that would be helpful if you could do that. So that was exactly what we needed to hear. When you think of meditation, that is exactly what meditation is and what it looks like. Without further ado, we're going to go right into the next level. And the next level for us right now is going to be, let me see if I can get it up. Just 1 second. The next level for us is our health. So after you finish all the meditation, you have to realize that your health is the next most valuable thing that you should have. And once you get your inside, your mind right, you have to get your body right. Your body is the most important thing that runs and lets you do what you need to do. But before we do, I see we have a comment. I added meditation to my day. I found I had better follow through. That was from D. And Miss Nisi says that she listens to guided meditation and chakra music at night to clear my mind and go to sleep. So this is something that people are really, really using, and it really does work. So if you haven't, that is something you should consider. So without further ado, like I said, we're going to move right on. We're moving right along to our next person who is going to talk for a few minutes about our health. And our health coach is Miss LaDonna Holmes. She's a nutrition coach, and she's amazing. She has this recipe for hummus that is off the chain, and it's healthy for you. So it's not only good, like tasting good, it's good for you. So she brings the nutrition to what you do and apply it to your daily life, which is very, very important to you living and sharpening your vision. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the screen and attention to our lovely Miss LaDonna Holmes.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. I want to first of all thank Crystal. This was she did a great job in putting this together with the weather issues that we had here in Tulsa. So I want to thank you, Crystal, for doing that. This is really awesome. And thank you for inviting me to share with everyone something I'm so passionate about, and that is health and wellness. As Crystal said, I am a certified health coach. I have created my business, which is called Whole Healthy Living, where I say that my mission is to transform lives, spirit, soul, and body. And I do this in regard to nutrition. So first thing I wanted to think about in sharpening our vision was, this is a new year, 2020. Yay, Happy New Year, everyone. This is a new year. But not only is it a new year, but it's the beginning of a new decade. And I thought, how many of us, there's that thing that we always do with New Year's, and we create a New Year's resolution. So I was wondering, how many of you out there created a New Year's resolution? Was it revolving around what you wanted to do with your business? Was it revolving around finance? Or was it revolving around health? What you needed to do to improve your health? I call it a health plan. Not like the insurance, but I'm talking about a plan to transform your health, to change your health. So that's what I want to talk about a little bit today, is creating a vision for your health, a plan for your health. Now, my health plan started about 8 years ago when I myself encountered some health issues that the doctors couldn't help me with. I was in the care of a physician for over a year, and they were very thorough, but they just couldn't seem to figure out what was wrong with me. And once I transitioned from the Western medicine to more holistic doctors, then I began to understand that the foods that I was putting in my body was having such a tremendous negative effect on my health. And once I started making those changes, my health started improving. So I took that information, and this light was born in me to create this business, Whole Healthy Living, so that I can help other women. But I'd never started a business before. So the first thing that I did was started doing some research on what it is I need to do to start a business. And the thing that I overwhelmingly kept hearing was, you have to create a business plan. You cannot have a successful business without a plan. That's no different than your health plan. You've got to have a plan in place to transform your health. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Is I'm going to give you 4 tips that I use with my clients. These are 4 of the things that I teach my clients to do in order to help them be successful in transforming their health. So tip number 1 is you need to create a clear, specific vision for your health goals and write it down. Now, I'm not talking about just general visions or general goals like, oh, you know what, this year I'm going to lose weight, or this year I'm going to be more physical, or this year I'm going to start working out more. No, those are too general. Those are general plans. I want you to write down specific plans. Like my goal this year is to lose 50 pounds, but I'm going to do that by losing 10 pounds a month for 5 months. That's a specific goal. Or perhaps a goal like I want to eat healthier. I'm going to start incorporating more fruits and vegetables for lunch and dinner 6 days a week. Or I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water every day. Or get this, I'm going to work out. But my plan for working out is I'm going to work out 3 days a week at 6:30 in the morning for 30 minutes. Those are specific goals. And with those specific goals, you're more likely going to be able to accomplish those because you know exactly what it is that you're targeting. Exactly. And once you have those specific goals in your mind, the next thing you want to do is you want to write them down. And I'm not just saying write it down on a piece of paper and stick it in a drawer. I love to use journals. I'm a big journaler. I've been journaling since I was in my teen years. Don't try to calculate how long that's been, but I've been journaling for a long time. And it's really nice to hear, and I heard a podcast about it the other day, is I will go back every year, particularly at the beginning of the year, and I look back at my journal for the previous year so I can see those changes that I've made. So when you do that with your health goals, write them down in a journal. And this is kind of like a journal. Just go buy you a nice journal. Or this one, I think I even got this one for free. Just so get your journal so you can have everything in one place and you write down what your specific goals are. And then in this journal, you can track how you have accomplished those goals. And that keeps you motivated and encouraged as you go down the line, because there's going to be some times that you think, you know what, I didn't do very well this month. And then you can go back and look at your journal and see where you came from. And that will encourage you or motivate you to continue. If you don't want to use a journal, Crystal mentioned a vision board. Get you a vision board. Create you a vision board. Put it somewhere visible that you frequent quite often. Or if you don't have a place to put a large vision board, get you a colored piece of paper or a note card and write your vision out on that note card and put it where you frequent. So the kitchen on the refrigerator is a good place to put it, the mirror in your bathroom. At work, if you have a secular job, put it at your desk where you work at, someplace visible so you can see it every day. Having your goals visible, having clear, specific goals written down and visible is a really good tool in helping you to accomplish that goal. The next tip I want to give you is to create a step-by-step plan to accomplish your goal and write those down. Because remember, this plan is going to be your guidebook for accomplishing your goals. So you want to be very specific. Now, the first thing that you need to do is you need to do your research. If you're a business owner, you know before you started out on that business venture, you did your research. You try to figure out what the market was for the business that you were trying to do, what your competitors were, what if you needed to have a physical location or something you can do online, what kind of marketing you needed to do, what kind of networking. You did all this research when you created your business plan so that you'd have a clear picture of how to walk this out. Well, it's the same way with your health. You have to be knowledgeable, first of all, what health and wellness is, what nutrition is. You need to research and gain that knowledge of what this is. Now, I will say that, and I don't want to offend anyone, but stay away from those quick fix fad diets. They don't work. They just do not work. The extreme exclusion diets, they don't work. Well, let me back up and say, yes, they do work short term. So if you do this, you may be able to lose 25 pounds in 30 days, but it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to sustain. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a lifestyle, a nutritional diet of something that you can sustain every day. I remember the one fad diet was out there for a while, and it still is. You drink a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and then you eat a sensible dinner. Well, how many of us want to do that for the rest of our lives? Not very many. So the thing that does work is balanced nutritional eating every day. Balanced nutritional eating. So what you want to do, you want to create a specific step-by-step meal plan. That's what that is. I've got a template here. If I could pull this up, Crystal, I'm gonna try the screen sharing, see if this is gonna work for me here. There we go. Sharing now. Whoop, did that work? It did? Okay, because I can't see it. Okay, so what that is, can you guys see it? Can you see my meal plan?
No, this meal plan isn't up yet. There it is. Now it is.
Okay, there we go. So this is a weekly meal plan. So I encourage everyone, if you're going to create a step-by-step plan, you want to use a weekly meal plan. So you want to plan out breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and even a couple of snacks every day, and write it down. You need to write this down so you can have a clear picture of what you're going to eat every day. I also have a little tip that I have. This is what they call meal planning. And I also have, let me see if I can find this one here. There we go. If any of you are interested in getting the meal plan template and also this quick printout of how to create a meal plan, I'll be happy to, if you want to drop your email into the chat box, I'll be happy to email this to you. But this is one of the tips that I encourage is creating a menu, having a meal plan, and for your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you're going to write these down and have them visible to you every day. This is what they call meal prep. So once this helps you in a couple of different ways. If you write this down, you're meal prepping. When you go to the grocery store, you have your list so that you're less likely to overspend for your budget because you're just going to get what you need to cook for that week. And also by meal prepping or planning your meal, I encourage my clients to cook 2 to 3 days meal at a time, or even a week's worth of meal at a time. Number one, this prevents you from having to get in the kitchen every day, every evening to try to cook. And also, if you know what you're going to eat every day, you're less likely to, in those moments, just say, for instance, you worked late, you didn't get off until 6:30, now you're starving. What am I going to eat? Well, I'm going to run through McDonald's drive-through and get a hamburger and fries. No, you've blown what you've tried to create as a healthy meal plan. But if you have it already at home, prepared, then you know what you're going to eat every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it makes it so easy to stick to that step-by-step guide that you're going to create. So that's tip number 2, is to create a step-by-step plan to accomplish your goals and write them down. Tip number 3 is you want to develop discipline. Now we're talking discipline to carry out your plan. Discipline is different than motivation. Motivation is doing something because you feel up to it and you're driven by excitement. Beginning of the year, we all get excited. This is a brand new year. I'm gonna do this. I'm motivated. I'm gonna go work out every day. I'm gonna, or 3 or 4 days a week, and that lasts about 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of that, you're like, I don't want to do this. You're not motivated. But discipline is doing what you know needs to be done, even when you no longer feel like it. Discipline is what bridges the gap between your goals and your accomplishments. It makes your goals come over here to be accomplished. That's what discipline does. Now, there is a early century American humorist. His name was Josh Billingsley. He put it this way. He said, be like a postage stamp. Stick to one thing until you get there. And that's what we need to do when it comes to discipline. That is discipline. And once you start practicing discipline, at first it could be difficult. It may not be the easiest thing for you to do. It's going to take continuous effort, energy, focus, and sacrifice. The longer you do something, the easier it gets, the more it becomes a habit. And the next thing you know, it's second nature to you. So that's what creating your menu, your eating plan is going to do. As you doing it every day, you're following that plan every day, it gets easier and easier and easier. And the next thing you know, you don't have those cravings for McDonald's. You're not running out here. I teach my clients how to be prepared for those emergency moments. So you, even in those times, you're not running out getting unhealthy foods. And the reason you're doing this is the best nutrition you put in your body, the better your body starts to function. And it creates more energy for you. It will ward off those illnesses that are associated with unhealthy eating habits. So as time goes on, the longer you're eating nutritional meals, the better your body is able to function, because you're providing the nutrients it needs to do everything that we're asking for it to do. So that's tip number 3, develop discipline and to carry out your plan. Tip number 4 is to find an accountability partner and share your vision with. Now, accountability partner is someone that's going to help you to keep your commitments. Is not a partner in crime. So you want to make sure that your accountability partner is someone that is strong in the areas that you're weak in. You don't want it to be someone that has the same weakness that you have. Say, for instance, you have a weakness for sweets. You don't want your accountability partner to have a weakness for sweets. Because when you call her up and you say, girl, they got all these cookies and donuts for lunch today at work, and oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do. She's going to tell you, because she has the same weakness, just go ahead and eat half of a donut this morning, it'll be fine. That's not the type of accountability partner you want to have to create success. You want the partner to be someone strong in the areas you're weak in. So if you have a weakness for sweets, you want your accountability partner to be someone that has developed that discipline not to give in to that weakness. So when you call her up, she'll tell you, no, girl, you don't need that. Go drink you some water. What did you bring for breakfast this morning? Eat your breakfast this morning. Stay away from that. So that's why you want an accountability partner that is strong in those areas. The same thing with physical activity. If it's fun to have a girlfriend. Yeah, we're gonna go work out 2 or 3 days a week. We're gonna go to the gym in the morning. But if she is weak in that area or has not developed the discipline in order to work out regularly, after a while, she's not going to be able to support you. So find that accountability partner again. Make sure you find the one that is strong in the areas that you're weak in. Now, I have an accountability partner, a personal one, but I also look to my Lord and Savior as my ultimate accountability partner. I think of the scripture there in Colossians 3:23 that says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not men. So that is my ultimate accountability partner. That's who I want to hold me. And I know he has the strength to tell me what to do all the time, even when I'm weak. So achieving your health goals may seem very difficult to do, doing all these things. It may seem like it's going to take a lot of work, and it does. But every goal that we try to accomplish takes work. Everything we do takes work. So health and wellness is no different. It is going to take effort. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take determination. It's going to take discipline. Now, the difference about the health goals, and Crystal mentioned this, is your health is a foundation for your success. I believe spirituality comes first, but then that health foundation, it's crucial, because if you don't have the health and wellness and the energy that your body needs, you won't be able to accomplish those other goals. We as women, we have such demanding lives. We are, like everyone that we're talking to here, most of us business owners. Most of us are mothers. Most of us are wives. We have a secular job. We have our business that we're trying to do. We have our church we're involved with. We spread ourselves so thin, almost too thin sometimes. But even those main basic things, when we have, like Crystal mentioned, identifying what's most important, even at that, there's more than one thing at a time. And if we don't have good health, then we won't have the energy to accomplish those goals or even carry out those things that we have to do daily. So also another thing, being healthy or having a great nutritional diet, it will prevent you, it can prevent or stave off some of these health issues that are associated with unhealthy eating habits like diabetes and heart disease. And there's statistics out there that also show that autoimmune disorders are directly connected to unhealthy eating habits. Even cancers are connected with unhealthy eating habits. So by doing this now, you can potentially avoid having those problems. And it's going to take discipline to achieve this success. And think about it. If you're able to develop the discipline in this area, that same discipline is going to transfer into every area of your life, your business, your family, your spirituality. And the next thing you know, you're being wildly successful in everything you do. Like I say, everything you touch will be golden. It needs to start with being disciplined with your health. So that's one of the things that I provide as a certified health coach. And with Whole Healthy Living, I provide you with the nutritional knowledge you need to create your plans. I help you to create your health goals. And then I help you to develop the discipline to implement those step-by-step plans that you have for achieving the goals that you have written down. And then I also am the accountability partner for you to make sure that you are following out those plans and give you that encouragement and that support you needing to continue following the plans that you have written out. So I'm going to put, if Chris don't mind, I'm going to put my website up here. If I can, I got to go back to screen sharing. Let's see.
And while you're putting that up, I know we're about to wrap up after Miss D, but we had one question on here How do I deal with kids not eating the stuff I eat? So I end up double working myself, making sure everyone eats. That's one of the questions, but if you could respond to her in the YouTube chat, that would be great.
Okay, I'll
Because,
do that. Yeah,
okay,
because that's a simple one. But here's my
yes.
website. You can go here, you can book a free consultation where we sit down and we talk, and you can talk to me about the struggles that you're having, and I can explain to you how my health coaching plans can help you to achieve the goals that you have for your health. 2020, beginning of a new decade. Why not make
Amazing.
this, huh?
Oh, go right ahead.
Okay, why not make this not just a great year, but make it a better year and an even better decade by starting to make those changes. God gave us these beautiful bodies that we have while we're here on earth. Sometimes we don't do the best with it all the time. It's never too late to start. So let's start today. Make those changes you need to make. Create your clear, specific vision. Create you a step-by-step plan to accomplish that goal. Develop discipline to carry out that plan. Find you an accountability partner. So we can sharpen our health goal in 2020. As my friend said, let's make it 20 winning.
Yes.
So thank you, ladies.
Thank
for letting me share
you.
this with you. And thank you, Crystal.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Miss LaDonna, for coming to speak. We're going to get right to our last speaker today. Our last speaker is Miss Dee Selby. I met her about a month and a half ago, and it was so controversial when I met her. I met her, and then we ended up going to a detailed meeting. And when we went into that, she showed me this method. And today she's going to show you that method to be able to clear up and declutter and downsize the things that are in your mind and in your life. So without further ado, I am going to pass the torch to the wonderful Miss Dee Selby, which is our last speaker for today, while she discusses decluttering your life.
Hey everyone, this is Dee Selby. I am a professional organizer and a productivity coach. I've got a certification in life coaching, and I'm also certified lay counselor, which comes in handy. And I realize that our time is short, so I want to jump right to showing you a couple of tools that I use when I help people declutter their heads. Basically, as a professional organizer, I help people get rid of the clutter in their homes, in their offices, and yes, sometimes even in their heads, because it comes in phases. You start out with decluttering, then you get organized, and from there you go on to be productive. So if you've got too many plates spinning, sometimes that makes it difficult. Okay, here is the thing I want to share. All right, I call this my Get a Life Satisfaction Exercise. And I will show you the areas, and you can take notes. If you want a copy of this worksheet, I will make sure there's one on my website, which is www.deesdeclutter.com. And if you send me an email, I will also email one to you as a PDF. Anyway, so all of us have a lot of different roles and a lot of different areas in our life where we have to manage and keep everything going. So I've got several of them here on this tool. We have our work life and school life, our family life, single life. We have an extended family. We have to deal with finances, our living environments, the pace of our life. We have to also balance our hobbies and recreation. And like LaDonia said, our physical fitness and health. All of us, especially as entrepreneurs, are working towards greater personal development at all times. And then, of course, we want our spiritual life or the causes that we support to be a worthwhile balance of our time. So how do I get back to me, Crystal? There we go. Oop. somebody's going to have to show me how to get back to me. But anyway, so that's the screenshot that I had for you. Like I said, if you want that tool, I'll be happy to give it to you. And then from there, what we do is we basically, on a scale of 1 to 10, you rate your satisfaction in each of these different areas of life. And you can do this on your own, or you can have somebody, a life coach, or just somebody who likes to visually organize things, just like you would do for a vision board. You figure out, okay, how satisfied am I with my relationship and my commitments and the time frame of how I spend my life with my extended family, and my work and my physical fitness and what I'm doing for personal development. Give yourself a 1 to 10, 1 to 10, and then try to figure out where you'd like to be. So if you find that you've, pegged something out at, I've got my family at a 10, but my physical fitness is at a 2, how can you go through, pick those low spots and high spots and bring them a little closer to the center so that you've got space in your life to do all of the things that you want to do. And also, it's a good way to figure out how you can do 2 things at once. So you get double satisfaction for your efforts. So, and a lot of times people will take the low areas from this tool and they'll map it out through a, hang on, I can talk, through a mind map. And a mind map is basically just a bunch of circles on a page where you map out the different areas. And so then you can connect the dots and figure out how I can get that connection and that connectedness. Most people say when they see that mind map, they say, wow, no wonder why I'm so busy and why I feel so pulled in so many different directions. Because basically it's like a picture of spinning plates, and every woman I know has at least 5 or 6 of them, especially if you're a sandwicher like I am, where I have adult children and aging parents. And of course, I say that the sandwich generation is defined by having adult children and aging parents, all who need you, but no one will listen to what you have to say. So anyway, that is that part of it. And then from there, you can go on to, once you've decluttered your mind, meditation. Daryl, that was a great presentation on meditation. It's something that I utilize daily, because being able to unclutter your mind, to think things through, and also just to be still and listen to what God is telling you. You're not going to have a clear picture of your vision if you're not listening to the higher power, if you're not listening to where God is leading you for your vocation. And hopefully at some point, like Crystal, you're trying to take your job, your job job, and use those skill sets to turn it around to be able to follow your avocation, what you do in your life that is specifically done to honor and glorify God. Anyway, Crystal, I know it's almost time, so I want to go ahead and cut it short so we can honor everyone's time. And if there's any questions or anything like that, I'd be happy to answer them right now.
So with what you do with the unclutter, when they fill out this form, do you have, I know we walked through it, going through that actual form. Can you put the form back up?
Sure.
A second?
I think so. Where'd it go? Oh, I closed it. Yeah, let me grab it.
Okay. So for you all that are online, on this form, it actually, you figure out where you are in each one of the areas. And when I filled it out, I realized that there are some areas where I'm not satisfied at all. And she was telling you how you can focus on the items that you're really, really not focused, that you really haven't spent any time on, so that they can become satisfactory to you as well. Because if there's chaos in one area of your life, that chaos is going to spill over to all the areas of your life. So having like straight down the middle or higher is better. Is that, did you go over that part and what
Yeah.
that looks like?
Yeah. talked about it a little bit, yes.
So with me, I found out the area that, I don't know if you have it up, but there was a specific area that I was really, really lacking in. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm having trouble getting the file to pop back up. Hang on.
It's okay. I think we're back unstable again, but before we wrap up, I wanted to go over
There it
one
is.
more.
I got it up.
You got it up? Okay, so scroll down to, yeah, where it's, so the one thing that I saw was like kind of chaotic in my life was right now my hobbies and recreations and my personal development and of course my physical fitness were all things that rated lower on the satisfactory chart. So because they rated lower, decluttering or figuring out what rated really, really high on my chain, it greatly showed me what areas I needed to be focusing on more, because you may be satisfied in one area, but what would that satisfaction look like if you could make another area in your life look well, as come up to standards as well? It will make other areas more satisfying in your life to deal with the things that are really decluttered. So for me, I know that, as far as with my physical fitness, I'm not building in any time in my day to actually become physically fit. So the beginning of the year, a lot of people go on the Daniel's fast or different fasting, spirituality to bring themselves closer for the year. And that I'm going on that journey as well. So I really focus on it at the beginning of the year, but it's like throughout the rest of the year, that's not a part of my lifestyle. And every time that I do that, I end up gaining weight, even though at the beginning of the year, I'm losing weight. So I get motivated, I'm happy, but then I lose the chaos part of it. I mean, I start to become chaotic with it. So yes, on this board, it shows if you have areas that you're neglecting are going to be a 2 or a 3 or possibly a 1. So those areas like physical fitness was at a 1 for me. So getting up to at least a 5, if that means walking 30 minutes a day or starting with 15 minutes a day, it's all about how you feel about these issues. And if it's back there, those issues start to mess with the back of your head. Believe it or not, subconsciously, you start to think about those things even when they're not at the forefront. So your thoughts become your vision. What you're thinking truly affects the way that you see things. It does.
Yes, it
So,
absolutely does. One of the things I try to tell my clients is that, if God is not the author of confusion and you are confused by everything you've gotten going on in your life, that means you need to calm down and, like our vision, you got to get it down on paper so you can see it, you can handle it. There's a great book by a guy named David Allen, and one of the things from it is, I think the name of the book is Getting Things Done. But the quote that I just love is, your brain makes a lousy office. So many of us wander around carrying everything we have to keep track of in our brains instead of putting them in a journal or writing them on a vision board or whatever. And having those tools in place to help you keep your focus will help you declutter your mind and declutter your house and get your business off the ground and help you to spend quality times with your kids or your aging parents, or whatever, or with your own physical fitness and personal development. You've got to try to achieve that balance so that you have space for pursuing what you know is important in your life.
that is so true. And I want to thank all 3 of you ladies or all 4 of you ladies, even though one of them had to leave, Miss Rosa had to leave. You guys, it is amazing what we've accomplished today, everything that's going on. I know it took a lot for you all to be able to take out of your day, even though it didn't turn out the way it was. I feel like we were still able to reach people and be able to touch them in a way that's transforming. So today, at the end of this, I want to go over the last little part, which I'm going to share my screen one more time, because we are at the end of this journey. But at the end of this journey, I wanted to tell you all about, let's see, we're not going to be able to do that, our upcoming events. So this is our events for the entire 2020 year, because as WOW is also sharpening our vision and making sure that people know what we have going on and when it's going on. Now, this is just the main course of the events for WOW, but we've partnered with a lot of other organizations and businesses to bring other content throughout the month. So the next event we have coming up, of course, is at the end of this month. It's a free event. It is building your business plan step by step. You can find it on Eventbrite. Go look for it. It is online. We have a digital. So I am so happy that everyone will be able to tune into that. We will also post that live, but that live, once it goes live, you will not have access to it unless you are a full member. So next month, Holistic Lifestyle, our host for that will be Miss LaDonna. She will be hosting that entire event. I will be sitting in the audience as a participant. I'm so happy about that. So I look forward to seeing you all next month. But we are looking for these people to fill these spots because WOW is growing. We have WOW in Florida. We have WOW in Maryland. We are launching WOW Dallas soon. And we want you all to be a part of what we have going on. So with that, we need hosts, we need web designers, event setup greeters, social media photographers, newsletter creators, fundraisers, hospitality coordinators, mentors, admins, any type of volunteering. If you just want to volunteer your time to be there, just to pick up pencils or pick up trash, whatever it is, we need you. And your volunteering is tax deductible, and we'll make sure that you get that. Membership for the year is $25 for the year. You guys, I don't know many memberships, but we give so much valuable content. What you heard today, if you believe in that, we would love for you to become a part of us and become a member of what we do. And of course, if you're looking to be a speaker at one of the events that I showed you a minute ago, you can become a member. You can make a donation, which we really could use all the donations. Go to our website, wownetwork.org, and look for the donations button. As soon as you get on the page, it's going to pop up give, and any amount that you can give will help us. Of course, we really need it because we want to keep this live thing going, and to keep that membership and keep that free for us, or to keep us to go with the live. It's $59 a month. And of course, that is based upon our members and the people that give donations. Of course, you can also follow us on Facebook at WOW Organization, or you can join our group if you are a female. And we're always looking for members. We have a newsletter that goes out every single month. If you want to be a part of that, you can be featured in the newsletter for $5. A sponsorship of an event will also get you in the newsletter as well. So the last thing I want to leave you with today is the actual WOW plan, or the life plan, which I promised you all. And I put a link in the comments, but you can also, let's see, I want to show you what it looks like before we get offline. Let's see if this is it. I believe this is it. Yes. So this document, and if you go to the link, it's a WOW life plan. And basically you fill out your basic information. You tell which area you want to focus on. And then there's a section for you to fill out each section, what your spiritual goals are for 2020, what your family goals are, what your health goals are, and what your success goals are. And what I've learned is when you write that information down, you become more successful at what you want to see happen in your life. I don't know what happened. Did it? I hope everybody can see this. But anywho's, that's the end. That's the conclusion of our event today. Thank you for logging in. Hopefully this records and you'll be able to go back and see it all. All the ladies that are in here, you can reach out to them. The door prizes that we have for today will be available at the next event. And anyone that logs in today to our website and registers, you can also join our directory. The directory will be free for the first year. After this first year, the directory will be no longer free. So get in while you can, because after this year, you will not be able to post your valuable women business to our directory. So we have lots of things coming. We want you to be a part of what we have going on with WOW. We need the women, we need the support. So we look forward to seeing you at our next event later this month. The event next month, holistic goals. So see you next time. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.